Good evening, everybody. The August 27th, 2024 Hibbing Public Utilities Commission meeting is called to order. All commissioners are present. First item will be adds or deletes. Is there any adds or deletes? Hearing none, we'll move on to the approval of the minutes of the July 23rd and August 14th meetings.
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Commissioner Sandsted, support by Commissioner Stokes to approve the minutes of July 23rd and August 14th. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carried. Next item, citizens forum. We don't have anybody. We'll move on to item 5, the consent agenda. Approve invoices greater than $1,000 and approve the bills and ACH transfers dated July 18th to August 21st. Item 5B, approve payroll paid and overtime report for the July 25th and August 8th and August 22nd, 2024 pay date. Item 5C, approve resolution 24-09, authorizing Hibbing Public Utilities to make application to and accept funds from the IRRB Public Board Works Program. Item 5D, approve resolution 24-10, authorizing Hibbing Public Utilities Commission to make application to and accept grant funds from the IRRR revenue bonds issued per Minnesota laws 2024, Chapter 27, Article 69, Section 15-16. Item 5E, approve request for contribution, North St. Louis County Habitat for Humanity for in-kind contribution of installed services. Item 5F, approve request for contribution from the Mesaba Concert Association, the amount of $500.
I'll move it.
Support.
Second.
Motion of Commissioner Sandsted, support by Commissioner Stokes to approve consent agenda items 5A through F. Any further discussion?
Chair,
Mr.
can I
Bayless?
pull item 5A quick, just for a couple
5A.
questions? And I would agree to the rest of them if,
Okay. Okay, we have a motion, a second, to approve all items other than 5A. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carried. Item 5A, Mr. Bayless?
thank you, Chair. Luke, I just got a couple questions. On page 5 of the invoices, I'm just seeing some triple entries. I just want to clarify whether those are all, and specifically it's under the Delta Dental line items. There's 3 identical line items.
Page 5, okay.
Page 5 of that, right in the middle of that page. Do you see that?
Oh, I do, yes.
So there's a couple instances like that. I'm just curious if that's something that needs to be cleaned up, if those totals are actually being accounted into the totals or not. So if we can check on that, please. And then my other question was around the turbine rotor from Virginia that I saw was in there. Can you elaborate on what that's for and what we were doing with that?
So the invoice that you're seeing for the tow, and this is the sandblasting for the inspection of rotor of the Virginia turbine. This was to perform our due diligence on looking at options for turbine 3, and in order to complete an inspection of an asset that we could have potentially looked at using here in Hibbing. However, on inspection of it, which was only able to be done after the blasting, it was determined not to be a good fit.
Okay, okay,
So,
thank you for that.
It is something that we are continuing to explore how we could, but this time, I don't expect expenditures.
Okay, thank you for that. I would go motion to approve 5A.
I'll support that. Motion by Commissioner Bayless, support by Chair Hart to approve consent agenda item 5A. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carried.
Thank you.
Oh, if I could, Chair, just following up on that, and thank you, Jill, for texting me. There's different payroll dates for the Delta Dental invoices.
So the payment was all 3 were made on the same date, but they're for 3 different pay periods?
Yes.
Thank you. Appreciate that.
Next will be financials and risk management. Item 6A, approve the July 2024 interim financials.
All right. Well, thank you, Chair Hart.
Peterson?
Thank you, Chair Hart. Commissioners, ahead of you are the financials for the 7 months ended July 31st of 2024. We do have Russ Hissam on the phone, I believe. Hello, Russ. Good to see you today. Thanks for all the good work on the rate case, and we'll get to that in a little bit. But Commissioners, for your benefit, there is the financials here. We have an operating income of $1.1 million for the 7 months ended July 31st, which compares to about $515,000 for the same period last year. And then the increase in the net income this year is due to decreased expenses over the period. The total change in net position stands at approximately $2 million compared with $1 million last year, and that is due to, again, to the decreased expenses and then slightly lower than expected or than last year's interest income. We are relatively consistent with budget despite having a lower heating season this year due to warmer temperatures, and we are now looking forward to working on our 2025 operating budget in consistent application of an updated study on rates, which Baker Tilly is also working on. So with that, I'm really pleased with the results that we have so far this year, and happy to answer any questions you have. And Russ, if you'd like to go into a little bit more detail of what you're seeing.
No, I see, thank you. And thank you, Commissioners. Nice to see you all again. No, I see all positive trends, improvement in financial results close to budget. When you look at the utilities, like on page 76 at the bottom, it compares operating income to budget. You think of electric and steam as one entity because of steam selling the byproduct of electric. So overall, the results are right around budget. As Mr. Peterson said on the gas through the warmer temperatures, operating income is down a bit, although, revenues and expenses were kind of move in tandem with gas usage and things like that. So the bottom line is not too far off, and then water is an improvement over budget. So all in all, things are, again, some rate adjustments will be looked at, but all in all, the results are moving in the proper direction.
Just curious, why is there such a difference between the budgeted steam loss and what we?
Russ, can you speak to that?
Yeah, I think I can speak to that. Yeah, during the early part of the year, the engineering, when you're looking at the allocation between electric and steam of generating costs, the allocation was changed in February of 2024 compared to what was used in 2023 based on an engineering recommendation. So by that time, the budget was put in place and approved, but the allocation to steam was much less than it was in 2023 based on generation. So that's why you have to look at them as, one entity almost, which if you look at them that way, off a budget is about $200,000 to the good. So that accounts for most of the difference in actual compared to budget.
Thank you.
Thank you. Do we have a motion to approve the July 24?
So moved.
Second. Motion by Commissioner Bayless, support by Commissioner Stokes to approve the July 2024 interim financials. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carried. Move on to item 6B, Ansley and First Avenue Substation Project and the related bids and quotes. The first item up will be approve Resco quote for a single-phase pad mount distribution transformer order in the amount of $32,492.30. Mr.
Thank you, Chair Hart. Commissioners, the number of items that you'll see here for 6B are all related to the reliability improvements that we're making for the city. So this is just the first one, and this is the smallest of the asks, and I This is for a single-phase pad mount distribution transformer in the amount of $32,000 from Resco. And this is like a normal transformer that gives service on a single-phase conductor to my house or your house. It's a distribution voltage. It's within the fence of the substation, but it's above my approval limits, so that's why it's here.
Thank you, Mr. Peterson. I'll make a motion to approve the purchase of the single-phase transformer.
Second.
Motion by Chair Hart, support by Commissioner Babbage, to approve the purchase of the single-phase transformer in the amount of $32,492.30. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carried. Next item, number 2, award public bid 24-03, substation dirt excavation and foundation work to Lakehead Constructors in the amount of $261,800. Mr. Peterson?
Thank you, Chair Hart. Commissioners, this item was put forward under public bid 24-3, and this was a combined dirt work, excavation, foundation work bid, public bid for the 2 sites that we have. And the work was similar in nature, so we combined it under one just to help on mobilization costs. The low bidder was Lakehead Constructors, Inc., in the amount of $261,800, and we recommend awarding.
Thank you, Mr. Peterson. What will be the wish of the commission?
Motion to approve.
Second.
Motion by Commissioner Stokes, support by Commissioner Sandsted to approve the substation dirt work to Lakehead Constructors in the amount of $261,800. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carried. Number 3, approve Amtech for electrical work at Ansley location in the amount of $110,110. Mr. Peterson?
Thank you, Chair Hart. Commissioners, these next 2 items are for electrical work, which is for qualified electricians, and then the third one is for essentially a line crew construct the line required work at the substations as well. That's why we have different contracts for the 2 entities based on code compliance. So the first 2 here I'll present to you individually is by each substation location individually. So this first one, 6B2, is to approve Amtech for electrical work at the Ansley substation location in the amount of $110,110, which is the low quote.
Thank you, Mr. Peterson. What will be the wish of the commission?
Motion to approve.
Second.
Motion by Commissioner Bayless, support by Commissioner Babbage to approve the low quote for the Ansley non-line work in the amount of $110,110. Any further discussion?
Mr. Chairman, does somebody go through this and review these in detail? Because of the discrepancy in bids, I'm kind of concerned about that. It's almost double, it's over double.
Yeah, we have our engineer, Iron Range Engineering, who prepared the scopes and also received the quotes from the vendors. And, yeah, there was quite a big discrepancy in the quotes. They did both receive the same information, though.
Okay, thank you.
Any further discussion? No? Okay. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carried. Next item. Item 4, approve Amtech for electrical work at the First Avenue location in the amount of $150,120. Mr. Peterson?
Thank you, Chair Hart. This is similar to the previous one, but this involves the First Avenue location and the specifics on that site. Again, Amtech was the low quoter in the amount of $150,120, and I recommend approval to Amtech.
Thank you, Mr. Peterson.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Motion by Commissioner Sandsted, support by Commissioner Stokes to approve Amtech for the electrical work at the First Avenue location, in the amount of $150,120. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carried. Next item. Approve Schweitzer Engineering Laboratories for intelligence substation hardware in the amount of $28,920.21. Mr. Peterson?
Thank you, Commissioner Hart. Ahead of you is a request to purchase hardware from Schweitzer Engineering for $28,920. And this allows the intelligent switching of breakers at substation.
Thank you, Mr. Peterson. What will be the wish of the commission?
Make a motion to approve.
Second.
Motion by Commissioner Stokes, support by Commissioner Babich, to approve the Schweitzer Engineering Laboratories for intelligent substation hardware in the amount of $28,920.21. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carried. Item 6, approve Lake States Construction LLC for line work at project sites in the amount of $126,692.50. Mr. Peterson?
Thank you, Chair Hart. Commissioners, ahead of you is the request to approve the line work contract we talked about earlier in the meeting with Lake States Construction LLC. As mentioned, this is a contract line crew that follows the same codes our electric line crew would, but this is for construction at those sites for overhead and underground work.
Thank you, Mr. Peterson. Wish of the commission?
Motion to approve.
Second.
Motion by Commissioner Sandsted, support by Commissioner Stokes to approve Lake States Construction for line work at the project sites in the amount of $126,692.50. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carried. Item 6C, Hibbing Renewable Energy Center capital projects. Related proposals and quotes. First item, approve Wolf Material Handling Systems for wood unloader replacement chain in the amount of $26,930. Mr. Peterson?
Thank you, Chair Hart. Commissioners, this is to replace the chain, and it is above my ability to approve, so therefore it is above you. This is a, it will be installed by Heckmovich Mechanical. So with that, happy to answer any questions.
Excuse me. What do the wish of the commission?
I'll make a motion to approve.
I'll second.
Motion by Commissioner Bayless, support, support by Commissioner Stokes to approve purchasing the replacement chain, in the amount of $26,930 from Wolf Material Handling Systems. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carried. Item 2, award request for proposal 24-03 turbine generator number 6, major overhaul to Oman Industries in the amount of $565,280. Mr. Peterson?
Thank you, Chair Hart. Commissioners, if you'll recall from our July work session and commission action meetings, we went out for proposals for turbine overhaul for turbine 6, which is the next in our rotation in our fleet for repair. And what we created out of that was the first best value proposal that we've done and worked with outside counsel to ensure we were taking advantage of the new statute in the right way possible to ensure low cost and also a best value to our ratepayers, which is the intention of the statute. And with that, we advertised for public proposals, and we received one back through the Quest CDN public advertising. And the team reviewed that and scored that appropriately and recommends awarding it to Oman Industries in the amount of $565,280.
Thank you, Mr. Peterson.
Make a motion to approve.
Support.
Motion by Commissioner Stokes, support by Commissioner Bayless to approve major overhaul of turbine generator number 6 to Oman Industries. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carried. Next, under Hibbing Renewable Energy Center capital projects will be item 3, authorized request for proposals 24-05, turbine generator number 3, rotor repair. Mr. Peterson?
Thank you, Chair Hart. Commissioners, ahead of you is a request to advertise a second request for proposals under best value, and that is for repairing of the turbine 3's rotor. If you recall, HPU entered into a contract to review and update turbine 3, and upon inspection of that project, the rotor had some additional work that we need to have done. This is the completion of that additional work that we need to have done, and we are also requesting this be completed under best value procurement, subject to Minnesota 2023 laws, section 16C.28, subdivision 1B. So with that, happy to answer any questions.
Thank you, Mr. Peterson. What will be the wish of the commission?
Motion to approve.
Second.
Motion by Commissioner Sandsted, support by Commissioner Babbage, to authorize request for proposals 24.05 turbine generator rotor repair. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carried. Next item, under Hibbing Renewable Energy Center capital projects, would be item number, no, we're on to a new subject, I'm sorry. Next item will be approve Bolton and Mink for construction engineering services for 2024 lead service line projects in the amount of $98,000. Mr. Peterson?
Thank you, Commissioner Hart. Commissioners, if you recall, Hibbing Public Utilities received a $1.1 million grant from the State Department of Health to replace lead service lines in the city of Hibbing, and we awarded a portion of that to Begalis Inc. 2 months ago. Sorry, it's going fast. And this is for the project management and construction management services for that project that is funded by the state of Minnesota. Happy with the work of Bolton and Mink in getting us to this point, and looking forward to them seeing it.
Thank you, Mr. Peterson.
Make a motion to approve?
Second.
Okay,
Can I ask a question?
1 second. We got a motion of Commissioner Stokes, support by Commissioner Babbage, to approve Bolton and Mink for engineering services. Under discussion, Mr. Babbage?
This is just kind of a side note, just curious, how many people, have we had people like actually getting the lines replaced?
Currently on scope, Dean, if correct me if I'm wrong, we have 32 in the hopper, that's correct? 32 in the hopper, changing daily.
Thank you.
Any other discussion? No? Okay. All right, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carried. Next, under policy and governance, approve request for pricing for the 2024-04 for job classification and compensation study. Request for pricing, request for proposal.
Request for proposal, I think, is a
Okay.
more generic term, yeah.
Mr. Peterson?
Yeah, thank you, Commissioner Hart. Commissioners, before you is a request to go out, as we've talked about for some months, for the class and comp study for all the positions at Hibbing Public Utilities. When I started at the utility over 3 years ago now, this was something that was brought up as a big priority by the union at the time. And since then, we've been able to retool and refocus the business, and it's appropriate that we, now move forward and actually do the comp study I've talked about. So this is the request to go out for proposals, and we look forward to analyzing the proposals that we get back and sharing that with everyone and the recommendation. That happens.
Thank you, Mr. Peterson. What will be the wish of the commission?
Motion to approve.
Second.
Motion by Commissioner Bayless, support by Commissioner Sandsted, to approve request for proposal for the 2024-04 job classification and compensation study. Any questions? Sorry. How many companies do you reach out to typically, Mr. Peterson?
I believe we are expecting at least to reach out to 3 well-known ones that have been doing the similar type of work in the region. We'll also be reaching out to.
Okay, thank
I'd
you.
like at least 5.
Does MMUA have a recommendation?
They do, I'll ask them if they have anyone recommended. After just talking with the union at some of our regular meetings of labor management, this was done in Grand Rapids earlier this year, and I think that experience was pretty well perceived by the labor folks at least. So, that person, I forget the name of the entity, regarded as one of the companies that we would be looking at. But I can certainly go reach out and ask MMU as well if there's any statewide they.
Thanks. Any other questions? Okay, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carried. Next item will be old business. Any commissioners or management have old business? No. Any new business? Pretty quiet group today. That's awesome. All right. Motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Motion by Commissioner Stokes, support by Commissioner Bayless to adjourn. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carried. Thank you, everybody.